Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the game plan. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different for you guys. I wanted to do a video about things that I know now that I wish I knew when I first started training in the beginning. When I was only like 15 years old, I joined a gym. So I've got a few things in my head that I'd like to speak to you guys about that I wish I knew, and hopefully there's some young guys watching this video that maybe I can help not waste time, but just fast forward things a little bit and maybe get you to change your mindset on a couple of things that you're doing. So the first thing, let's see here. Let's talk about training first. So I started training, like I said, when I was about 13 years old. Dad bought me one of those universal home gym sets. I had some dumbbells. So I was just doing things at home. And I did that for probably, I think, 2 years. And then I joined a gym I reckon I was about 17 when I joined a gym, maybe 16 actually. I think Mum used to drive me to the gym, so I must have been probably around about 16. But anyway, you know, I had no idea. I had some books. I had a book that I stole from the school library when I was at school, and it was called Rocco Oppisadano. He's an Australian champion bodybuilder. He had his own book that was had all of the exercises in there for the whole body. So you know, I just did that. I stuck to that. But you know, even though I knew the book was good, it was a good book, it had all the right exercises there, but still I had no idea when it came to actually lifting with good form. I just go there, grab the weights and just lift as heavy as I possibly could, you know, screaming, carrying on. I had no idea how to actually train the muscle. And that's taken a long time, that did take a long time to get that mentality that it's not always just about weight. So that's probably a huge thing. That's a big tip. It doesn't sound like much, but it's something that you guys can, if you're just starting out training, even guys that have been training for a long time. Sometimes you have to just leave the ego at the door when you walk into the gym. I know it's hard. I know there's all the big guys in there and intimidating guys. Everyone's yelling and screaming, carrying on. You want to try to lift what they're lifting so you don't look like a pussy in the gym. But you know, this is bodybuilding. It's got nothing to do with, you know, the weights that you're lifting. You know, if you can use a good weight, as heavy as possible with good form, you know, that's the main thing. So, you know, I wish I knew that, you know, with bench press, I could stretch my chest, flex my chest. You know, I would have got so much more growth out of, you know, all of my training in my younger years than just going in and just doing little short reps with, you know, I'm actually lifting less weight now than I was lifting when I was like 19, 20. You know, I used to squat more, I used to bench press more. But the thing was, I had no idea when it came to form. You know, I had absolutely terrible form. So, you know, that's something that I would like a lot of guys, you know, to try to take from this first part of the video, is get the form right. The weight will come. You know, just, you know, if someone else is doing crazy weights, yelling and screaming, let them go. You know, put your headphones in and just do what you have to do in the gym. This is all about you, not anybody else. So that's a big one with training. Another thing, while we're on the subject of training, another one is spotting. I can't tell you how many times I used to get my mate to spot me from rep number 1. You know, they'd be under my elbows from the very first rep. So, you know, that is something that I did for years, and I spotted my friends, and we all lifted so much weight. And, you know, with squats from the first rep, bench press from the first rep, even something, you know, a secondary exercise, isolated as a movement, it's supposed to be like an isolation exercise, like a bicep curl, you know, getting a spot from the first rep. You know, you do not need a spot. You know, I've worked that out now that I train here in my gym. You guys can hear the echo, it's just me, there's no one else here in the gym. You know, and I don't have a spot. I don't have anybody here to spot me, and it doesn't affect my training one bit. If anything, it lets me hone in on the muscle that I'm working. I can concentrate on it more, I can isolate it more, and I can get those forced reps out that I need to get out. You know, I don't need someone there to grab the bar. You know, I can get those forced reps if I need to. And then if I have to go further past failure, I might do a couple like swinging reps, use a little bit of momentum to get those extra reps. But don't use a spotter unless you really need it. And if you're doing like 8 to 10 reps, you shouldn't need a spotter until about 7. You know, even 8. You don't need someone from the 4th or 5th rep. We're not powerlifting. You should be able to do any weight for, you know, to 8. You should be able to get to 8 by yourself, at least. So don't use a spotter unless you really have to, guys. I like to know, I hate having a spotter because I like to know that my muscle is actually getting the weight up, not somebody else's, using it with their spot. So that's another really big one for you guys. Another one is the exercises. When you walk into a gym nowadays, there's 100 different pieces of equipment for back, for chest, for legs. And you want to use every single piece of equipment, and there's no need to, and it gets confusing. And I can see how young guys go into the gym and they do 20 different exercises for back, but I'm telling you, there's no need to do that. You can put it this way, I finished training back roughly about half an hour ago. I did wide grip pull downs, chin ups, rack deadlifts, barbell rows, and that's it. 4 exercises for back. That is it. It was intense, and I put a lot of focus and energy into that back workout. There's no need, I could piss fart around and do, different exercises, go through the reps, grab that machine, oh, that looks good, do the hammer row, pull down, all this kind of thing. But if I pick out just 4 exercises and go as hard as I possibly can, I'm gonna get more out of that than what I would if I did 10 exercises for back. So that's what I would, that's a massive one that I could tell you guys. Pick out the basic exercises. The basic stuff always works. But train hard. It's got to be intense. It's got to be super, super intense. I can't get that across in the video. If you want to come and train with me in my gym, book a session, you can come and book a session with me and I'll show you the intensity that I use on 4 basic exercises. So most people would probably be disappointed if I told them what exercise they were going to do when they came to my gym, they would probably not even want to spend their money or waste their money coming to see me. But once they come here and they see how I train and I put them through a workout, then they realize that there's no need to complicate things and do 100 different exercises. So that's training, pretty much training. I'll do another one of these videos when I think of some more things to talk about. But let's talk about diet now. So in the beginning, I used to just eat. I used to eat as much food as I could, McDonald's, KFC, chocolate, whatever junk food, takeaway food. I was plumbing when I first started training, so I was still doing my plumbing apprenticeship, and I would just go to the takeaway shop. I'd get dim sims, potato cakes, schnitzel rolls. Schnitzel rolls are my favorite. I'd eat schnitzel rolls, probably 4 or 5 times a day. But I had no idea what I was doing with my food. I was just lucky that I chose good foods. Well, half good foods. At least schnitzel rolls still got a little bit of chicken in there. It's deep fried and crumbed and everything, but still, it was chicken. So I was getting some kind of protein in. But I used to bulk up too much. Eating all of those foods used to blow me right up to, when I was 20, there's photos, I've posted them before, of me at like 120 kilos when I was like 20 years old. And I thought that I was huge. I thought that I was massive. I thought I looked like Jay Cutler or Ronnie Coleman. I was just eating. I would even look at their magazines, at the Flex magazines, and I'd see diets that they said was Ronnie Coleman's off-season diet. Of course, it wasn't Ronnie Coleman's off-season diet. Now I know better than to listen to all of the magazines, but I used to go by everything that the magazine said I would do. If that's Ronnie Coleman's bicep workout, I'll do his bicep workout. If that's how many eggs and chicken and steak that he eats in a day, that's how much I'm gonna day. So that's what I did, and I just blew out so much. I was unhealthy, I was unfit, I couldn't tie up my shoelaces, I was huffing and puffing to go up the top of a staircase. It just wasn't good at all. And it wasn't until I kind of look back at photos now I realized how fat I actually was. I thought that I was big. I used to wear stringer singlets when I was that big. Not a good look. So work out what you're doing with your food, guys. It's very, very important. Eat the right amount of protein, work out your carbohydrates, healthy fats. And these are things that are obviously going to keep you healthy at the same time too. Eating burgers and all this junk food and stuff that I was eating, you can't get away with that for a long time without having some sort of complications, whether it's cholesterol. Obviously cholesterol has an effect on the heart. All those kinds of things. You have to know about it now while you're young. So, you got to eat reasonably clean. I still have cheat meals, don't get me wrong, but I wish even back then I only had a couple of cheat meals a week and got all of my food from, all of my calories from rice, steak, all that kind of thing, whereas I just used to eat everything. So, you know, there's no need to do that. You know, put on a little bit of muscle every year, as long as it's quality muscle. You know, I was 120 kilos when I got that fat, and I dieted down to like 80 kilos. So I'd say like 40 kilos is just fat, pure fat that I had to lose. So there was no muscle there whatsoever. So those of you who are walking around at like 110, 120 kilos thinking you're huge when you're actually fat, get the weight off, do cardio, diet. You know, you're not huge, you're not a bodybuilder, you're not massive, you haven't got big muscles. You just look big in a jumper or whatever, jumper or long sleeves. But if we saw you stripped off or in a singlet, you're gonna look like a fat. So that's probably the biggest thing. That covers diet. The other thing that I probably wish that I knew earlier on is to find a coach. So obviously all those things that we covered, training, diet, a lot of those issues that I spoke about can be avoided if you get yourself a good coach. Someone who's very knowledgeable, someone who's done it all before, not just someone who's done the schooling. You know, so many people have done the schooling. Let's face it, these days to get a personal training course, you can be qualified in like 6 months, even earlier. You can do it online as well, you know, so try to get somebody that's been through, if you want to be a bodybuilder, someone who's gone through contest preps, put their body through diets, knows about the cardio, how the body responds to certain foods, everything. You want someone that's very knowledgeable in this area. You know, because another thing is, you are putting a lot of stress on your body, bodybuilding. You want to do it the right way, you want to do it the safe way, you know, you want to get blood work done, make sure that anything that you're doing isn't affecting your health. You know, it's all very, very important. Longevity is the key to bodybuilding. You might not think it. I didn't think it when I was like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You know, I couldn't care less. But now, this is probably when a lot of the young guys are thinking, oh, listen to him, he's got no idea what he's talking about. But trust me, you need to start looking after your body, looking after your health now when you're young. Because there's a lot of bodybuilders who hit their 20s and they look like they're in their 50s. They look terrible. Their health is terrible, and they're just, it's not good, not a good look. And then once they give up bodybuilding, then what are they left with? They're left with a broken body. So, you know, you don't want to be that guy. What else can I say? Oh, posing in the mirror in the gym. Come on, guys. Relax on the posing in the gym. I used to do it when I was younger, and now I know why people used to look at me like I was a in the gym. You know, I used to do a couple of sets of abs. The gym's packed, it's peak hour in the gym. There's Jake in the middle of the gym with his singlet up, flexing his abs. Maybe after a leg workout in the middle of a busy gym, girls, guys everywhere, Jake just drops his pants and starts flexing his legs in the middle of the gym. Like, come on. I was that guy. Now, don't be that guy. Learn from my mistakes. It's not a good look. You know, it's not a good look at all. Walking around the gym when it's busy with your nipple hanging out in a stringer singlet, it's not really all that great, guys. You know, cover up, train hard, go to the gym to work on your own body, and go home. I'm sure you've got plenty of mirrors in the bathroom, in your bedroom, where you can check yourself out and pose. The whole gym floor doesn't have to see what you look like, okay? What else? Let me think. I think I've covered just about everything. I'm sure I'll come up with some other stuff. Another one is towel. Bring a towel to the gym. There's signs everywhere, all over the gym. Now, because I have my own studio, I understand, you know, people that don't bring towels and people that sweat all over things. There's nothing worse than walking up to a bench press or something and it's got someone's sweat all over it. And that's the other reason all these stringer singlets with your whole nipple and chest and back and shit hanging out, laying on a bench and just sweat going everywhere. Man, bring a towel with you and clean that shit. Someone else has to use that machine after you, for sake. I think I've gone on enough in this video. One last thing. If you haven't got a chest like Joe, I think we all know by now, Joseph Menzel, the director of Massive Joe's, he's probably going to see this video at some stage. If you haven't got a chest, don't make a tutorial video of how to grow one. That just doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me just as much as calling a business Massive Joe's when the guy's not even massive. You guys let me know your thoughts on that. Leave your comments below in the YouTube box. Let's change this company's name to Massive Jakes. I think that's what we're going to have to do. I'm going to have to put my foot down. All right, that's enough rambling on. I hope you guys enjoyed something different for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the Massive Joe's video series. Subscribe so you can see all of these videos and all the other cool videos that all the guys are doing. Don't forget, you have to subscribe because you might miss you might miss Joe's how to grow a huge chest tutorial, and you guys do not want to miss that. I'll be tuning in for that. That's the only reason why I subscribed. I need all the help I can get when it comes to training my chest. So thank you, Joe, for putting that video series together. I can't wait. So anyway, that's enough shit talking from me. I'll see you all in the next episode.